beautiful. This nurse was an angel in the life of this child. Nurses are angels on earth. They comfort the heartbroken, they nourish the sick, they hold the hands of the dying. Their job is not one for the faint of heart. They're nursing specialties that are full of emotional moments.
Before we begin, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos.
The medical professionals who work in hospice, oncology, and the NICU are among those who must be exceptionally strong to face what they do every day, as lives hang in the balance. Claire Mills has worked in the neonatal intensive care unit for a few years at a Texas hospital. Claire was born prematurely, which compelled her to become a pediatric nurse in an intensive care unit, caring for the babies who need the most help just to survive. The 25-year-old has seen moments of joy and heartbreak, both in her department. Some babies arrive with a fighting chance, and eventually they go home with ecstatic parents. Some NICU babies never leave her department and never go home with their parents. It's not normal to see something that's supposed to be happy turn out to be so bad. One day, Claire was working her 12-hour shift when baby Jackson was whisked into her department. He arrived 5 weeks early and weighed only 3 pounds and 10 ounces. It was love at first sight for Claire, she told Inside Edition. It was an instant connection I felt with him. Because Jackson's mother was in medical distress and underwent an emergency cesarean section, Claire spent considerable time feeding Jackson, caring for him, rocking him, and falling in love with him. She and Jackson bonded quite tightly those first few weeks of his life. Claire knew that Jackson's mom was struggling with her new role and with life in general. Claire felt compassion for her and reached out, offering to help however she needed it. She also assisted the Child Protective Service's social worker assigned to Jackson's case. One day, Claire arrived at work to discover that Jackson and his mom had been discharged while she was off duty. She looked forward to seeing her favorite little dude, and she was crushed. She called the social worker and reiterated that she would help Jackson and his mom however she could. It was as if a piece of her heart had been given away. Imagine how shocked Claire was when Jackson's mom called her directly. She told Claire that she just couldn't give Jackson the life he deserved. So would Claire? She'd heard how connected I felt to him, how upset I was with his discharge. Claire owned her home, so she had room for Jackson. But what about her crazy 12-hour shifts? What about being 25 and single? Could she do this? I really felt like this was a sign from God. She asked her mom what she thought about her adopting Jackson. She fretted that her mom would think it was a bad idea, since she'd be parenting Jackson by herself, with help from her parents, of course. She was immediately ecstatic. In fact, her mom gave Claire a baby crib that her own siblings had used. As Claire prepared for her new journey to motherhood, someone suggested maybe she could be a foster parent to Jackson instead of adopting him. I just felt like fostering wasn't permanent because I didn't want to give him up. Claire brought Jackson home in June. It was rough making the switch from singledom to single mom at first, but it's been worth it in the end. I work with babies,
Baby Jackson is the apple of his mom Claire's eye.
Then coming
The
home to
two
care
share a
for him.
special bond,
The first week
and the
was
way
a lot
it
of
came
crying.
about is
I
even
felt
more
like I was
special.
crying every day.
Claire Mills is a NICU nurse
Well,
at a
Claire
hospital in
works 4
Houston.
12-hour shifts
When
each
Jackson
week.
was born
Jackson
5 weeks
spends
premature,
quality time with
he
his
quickly
grandma,
became
Claire's
more
mom.
than Claire's patient.
And at 4 months
Really,
old,
it was just
Jackson's
the
in
instant
perfect
connection
health,
that I felt
Claire
with
said.
him.
He's
You
so
know, I've been
happy.
working for 3
He's so
years
pleasant.
already,
I
and
can't remember
I
what
had
my
never felt
routine
that
was like
before.
him.
So when his mother said
In
she
fact,
worried she couldn't
Jackson
care
has
for
thrived in
him,
Claire's
she called
care,
Claire.
gaining weight and
She heard
meeting
about
milestones,
how
she
connected
said.
I was with him and how I was
Please
so
share
upset
this
with his
with your
discharge,
friends and
and
family.
she called me herself through the CPS worker and said, "Hey, I really feel like this is a sign from God. I really think that this is where he needs to be, and it's
It any other way.